everybody. Good evening. Hope you are all doing well. Welcome back for another evening detox. I'm just going to put my hood on here to maybe block some of the wind that is coming by. So if you're just joining and you'd like to make yourself comfortable in a seated position, you're welcome to sit until we start the practice tonight. If we haven't practiced together before, my name's Joe K. We're doing some remote classes. Normally we're live streaming from our studio in Los Angeles, but we've gotten a little bit outside of Los Angeles, as you can see behind me, this beautiful landscape. So we're soaking up some nature. We're having many special encounters, different animals, and something that's really such a beautiful sight and sound to hear is it's so quiet here that when a bird flies over your head, you can hear the sound of the wings flapping, which is just something, that's an example, but you don't really get that too often in the middle of LA because there's just so much background noise that is going on most of the time. So it's been nice. I was saying last night to let the kids run around, and behind me you can see there's this driveway that you take up to the place that we're staying at, and I mean they must have run up and down the driveway 50 times today. So they're pretty much getting on their way to bed, and we're here to guide a class and practice together. I did mention, based on the signal strength and whatnot from where we're coming to you live from, I don't have the ability to go on the YouTube and to see the chat. And so if anybody's out there and you guys are saying hi, I say hi back. I just don't have a device that will connect. The Wi-Fi is really slow, and we have just enough, I think, to get the class up and broadcasted on YouTube, on our channel. We got about 3 minutes till we start our practice tonight. If you're still collecting around your space on your mat, yoga block's great. I've added a blanket tonight. If you have a pillow or anything that you'd like to use to support your body, you're welcome to bring that along for the adventure the next hour and sitting in some poses. So less is definitely more. You may find that we do 3 and sometimes 5, but really never more than 5 postures in an hour. So we're sitting in the poses for 3 to 5 minutes, and then we're giving ourselves the feeling of that space, the expansion, which I try to explain in so many different ways. but really it's the non-attachment of the energy that's associated with your mind. And so when you're lying in these rebounds, as you go through some of these feelings in your body, it's a great way to rest and to relax and to feel the release, and simultaneously the ways that you are restoring yourself, rejuvenating from within. It's interesting. It was actually a bit windier just when I 10 minutes ago, and it feels like everything is calming down even more. And it feels good. And let's start with a short but sweet mindfulness meditation. So as you come into a cross-legged position, or you're welcome to sit on your shins, you can put a pillow or support underneath your bum. And take your palms, rest them over your knees, and head above your heart. And so the simplicity of the mindfulness meditation is that we, watch everything. We become a witness to observe the breath as it's coming into our body and going out of our body, and the thoughts as they're moving, through our mind. And sensations the same. Acknowledge them if they're there. No need to change or to move. So the practice of stillness is a nice way of holding ourselves accountable. It can be very difficult and to remain still, but we won't go too long tonight, just here in the opening of our practice. So you should be able to feel something. You'll notice that your mind is thinking about things, and then you can watch the air as it comes into your body and out. You're welcome to close your eyes down. You feel the air as it enters your lungs and fills your chest. And on that breath, you're welcome to exhale all the air out of your lungs until they're empty. And feel as you release the breath, we're going to allow the breath in to be natural. So we're an observer in a natural state, as natural as we can be, rather than the manufactured world that we live in. And the understanding is to coexist with the being, the human being, and to lessen the responsibility of doing or what you do and how you do it for a period of time. In this case, we're holding the container of space at 1 hour. And so you don't have to look at your watch, you don't have to look at your clock. I will do all of that space holding for you. If you want to call it a focus, your focus can simply be into release and to let go, and to drop into each moment as deeply as you possibly can. And let's take a couple minutes of stillness here in silence. I'm going to give you silence, no need to look back at the video. You'll receive the verbal cue. If you're willing to sit in these positions tonight, you can receive pretty deep messages, moments of clarity. And perhaps a new question is born, the courage to allow that question to appear to your conscious mind. You can help unlock and release and create more space for you physically, mentally, and emotionally. You fill your lungs on the breath in, and then empty your lungs, open your eyes, and everything should just look a little bit different now. The outline of things, and the clarity of the vision. And that's no longer than 3 minutes in a mindfulness meditation. And from your seated shape, we're going to lie down onto the back and let your legs go long. And if you'd like anything underneath your head, you're welcome to have it there. And it feels good to release the legs, especially if you're sitting cross-legged, but even if you were sitting on your shins. And let the ground beneath your body support you. And comfort may be your arms by your sides with your palms up, or I have my fingers interlaced gently and my hands resting on my belly. And consider in your practice tonight the versatility of dependability. All the different things and people and energies that you believe to have depended on up to this point in your life. And sometimes how the stakes change and the dependencies seem to shift, and sometimes the dependencies feel much more, sometimes you don't feel them that much at all. But that versatility of dependency and how there is an evolution, there is a way of kind of unplugging one and then plugging another back in. And just see where you're at tonight, if you're in a place where you're plugging in or if you're unplugged. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck. Take one deep breath, fill your belly. Out of the mouth, you can exhale, sigh. And bring your legs a little closer together. And we'll start with when relieving. Bring your right knee into your chest. Interlace the fingers onto your right shin. And hands onto the shin. You can soften your hip flexors. And take the bite out of that part of your waist. Relax your toes. And through all 10. If you practice this morning, you might be feeling the shoulders and the upper back, the traps running from the sides of your neck and top of the shoulder. make a pretty big difference in your practice when you begin to associate the hands and the jaw. So rather than gripping and holding on and squeezing, when we create a connection, especially a new connection, which is what you're doing every night, even though the practice has the same label, you're developing and creating new connections every evening, every time you come onto your mat, at least when you practice here. It can be really interesting what you explore and where your mind goes when you're not gripping. And the easiest example is the white-knuckled experience and holding on to the steering wheel too tight. You can still drive the car. You don't have to white-knuckle the steering wheel. And so please take these practices, these classes, these ways to check in before you check out. We're vulnerable right now. There's insecurity, there's fears, there's a lot of energy and a lot of opinion. So before you unplug or check out, take a class and check in first. Before you think you're going to make a huge decision in your life during this time, take one of these classes first. And see the difference in your practice when it's all about this natural connection that exists inside of us. And you may clearly connect to the point that it's not the I that is creating. And whether it's 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, as we're sharing these practice, the resounding calm and that you may feel at certain times is from the beautiful connection that links one human being to another from all over the world, from rural areas, like I'm in right now, to big cities. It's tough, everybody's going through it. And what this has created so many new relationships and so many new mirrors to reflect ourselves off of, as we do, being human beings, from one human to the other, and reflection like a mirror. I think we just got a resounding round of applause from the squawks of the birds, and then you couldn't hear it, but I could feel it and hear it The sound of the wings flapping above my body. And you're welcome to keep your eyes closed, release your shin, let your right leg go back out onto the mat. You might feel in that flow, in the release of the chi, the toes are tingly, the joints are heavy, the leg is willing and to rest and to relax and to let the muscles go. And hopefully feeling a little more relaxed now than when we started. Keep your right leg long and bring your left knee towards your chest. Interlace the fingers over your left shin. And keep the back flat. And so as you untether in ways the mind and through the stories, the inner workings of your body and through your emotions, so as you untie and you unravel all of this, you can see that there is a tethered experience taking place even while you're observing your breath, not even giving more force or energy to the breath, but simple observation of the breath. And that lands you in the awareness of our meditation. The meditation is continuous. The meditation could become what I call your yoga life, the awareness that you bring and have with you everywhere you go, everything that you do. The yoga life should never add any more stress into what already could be a stressful existence, but it should help you to declutter and clarify in ways what serves you best and what serves others, and from the deepest place inside. And then anything that doesn't really fall into that framework, there's an opportunity to deepen your practice. You never have to run from it, nor do you have to try to change it or manipulate it or fix it in any way, especially while you're on your mat. And you can be that witness. You can observe whatever it is that may be going on in your life. start to notice the more that you practice this style of yoga, you are ready and open to be in the postures, and the same readiness and openness to release the postures as slowly as you can. And trust the process of the rebound and the release, the space, a place where your mind can get it. A lot of times life is moving so fast, your mind can't receive things consciously. It's still happening. And so we want to feel and observe that escalation into the elevated or the conscious mind while you're on your mat. You can begin to release the shin and bring your left leg back down. And let the ground support you. Arms by your sides, or you can rest your hands onto your belly, whichever you prefer. As you're lying here on your back, go ahead and squeeze your bum into the ground. And tighten your bum, flex your glutes. Feel it, hold it. And on your next exhale, begin to soften the muscles in your bum all the way out. And feel the relationship from your outer hips to your low back, and then back down to your legs. And keep your low back heavy. Bring the soles of your feet to meet. And we'll let the knees fall apart. And so we're in supine Baddha Konasana. You can always place things underneath your outer thighs. You're welcome to add a little weight on your inner thighs. And soles of the feet together. And so I can even use my own arms and rest the hands on the inner thighs. And the elbows come down. And there's a softness in your chest, a release of the tongue inside of the mouth, and it can fall back in towards the back of your throat. And see what happens if you really get still. Not only in this practice tonight, but if you get more still in your life. If we cease the urge through many times all the layers and the dependencies that have been conditioned upon us, and to move around so much, see what happens if you get still. And set a course where your focus can sustain a deeper awareness of stillness for 3 days. And see what that feels like. And for tonight, do it for 3 to 5 minutes. We'll connect the dots and we'll call it a practice. And it's all here for you to experience. deep calm you can ever hear. And feel the unraveling. And at the same time, you may feel more connected than you've felt in a long time. Feelings and moments happening all over your body. And then your mind is receiving these messages, sending messages back to. And so we'll keep going one at a time. And start to bring your knees back up towards each other. And once you get your knees all the way turned up with your feet flat, and feel your hip creases. Notice your belly has got a really nice and slow rhythm of going up and down. Quite a bit of freedom in through the involuntary cycles of breath, the breaths you're taking that you're not even thinking about taking. And keep your legs bent. And then bring the right knee back into the chest, but this time, rather than holding on to the shin, and take the hands, interlace the fingers on the back of the leg as you straighten the leg up towards the sky. And once the hands are there and the shoulders are down, and slide the left leg back straight down onto your mat. And it's not that you have to kick with force. You feel a connection between your hands and your hamstring. And if the knee's a little bent, that's fine. And you want to acknowledge the sensation that hopefully you're getting in the back of your right leg. And so it's very clear. Spend an hour in nature, spend a day. For me it's been about 24 hours, and it's very clear. The reason we may not be sitting in a peaceful existence is not the beautiful world, and that we have been so fortunate to exist upon and to be born into. It's this interaction amongst us, you, me, the collective we, the interaction between human beings. that have created all of this. Or have we? Keep the hands on the back of your right leg and then start to pull your knee back into your chest. You can lift your head to set up the second part. You reach your right arm up, hook your big toe with your peace fingers, and then as you kick your right leg back up, and we're going to open the right leg, and so your hips stay relatively flat. Hold on to your big toe, and let your left shoulder stay heavy, and we'll be here for the second phase. And if it's not working to hold on to your big toe, you can hold on to your ankle. You can use a towel or a blanket or anything to make your arm longer. Wrap it around the sole of your foot. Okay, nice and easy. Put a little bend to your right knee and then come back to center. You lift your head one more time and then reach your left hand out and grab for the outside of your right foot. And then as you kick the leg straight out the left, not that we're trying to bring it down to the ground, and just enough and to feel that band of tissue and from your outer shin through your outer thigh. And rest the head best you can. And see, being in these poses, and for as long as we are, there's an internal awakening. There's, call it a shit disturbing into the body, an aggravation, a kneading, penetration through the compression. But we do all of that and so that we can feel. And when we can feel, then it can be real. We feel it. It's part of our reality, our mind, and can observe it. And it's all part of that unraveling, which can be scary. I acknowledge unraveling or letting things be free. Really taking a look into your dependencies and to explore the framework of your freedom. It can be intimidating, so take it as it comes. You don't have to force it. A little bend to your right knee and bring your hips back square. And then let's catch the rebound as you let go of your right leg and lie down onto your back. And see if your right leg feels a little different than your left leg here. And whatever feels good, arms by your sides or hands on your belly. Might feel nice. Take one deep breath in. Open your mouth, exhale to sigh. And keep your right leg where it is. And start to bring your left knee back in towards your chest, but this time, and take the hands on the back of the leg. Hold on to the hamstring as you kick the left heel up. May or may not be straight, shoulders are heavy, and your grip is there enough so that you're able to hold on without struggling, but you're not pulling with all your might and by any means. And most people will feel it in their hamstring here. If you're not feeling it in your hamstring, you're always welcome to slide the hands up to the calf. Keep the shoulders and the head heavy, and that may help you feel it a little bit more. And to be clear on what I said before, the sensation is real. The story or the interpretation, the memory, and kind of this blended functionality of story as it appears while you're in the poses and in the sensations, that may not be real. That may not be the way that it went at all. And I promise you this has happened in my life many, 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 many times. And where I have convinced myself of a story. Absolute. And to really come through a practice and connect to the space and where I realize that wasn't it. But one of the ways to uncover these things is to practice, to be here. And surely if you have a practice, you understand the challenges with making it to your mat. If you don't have a practice, you don't even understand the challenges with making it to your mat. And put a little bend to your knee. And let's lift our head to come up to the next phase. And reach your left hand peace fingers for your big toe. And then kick the heel up. And shoulders down. And let your left leg and fall off to the left. This side may feel a little bit tighter than the first side. bend to your left knee. Start to bring it back to center. You can lift your head, reach your right hand out, and grab the outside edge of your left foot. Kick up through the heel, and then bring that left leg to the right, and say even about 30 degrees could be enough. You feel it from the calf into the tissue in the outer thigh. And reset the head, shoulders heavy. Bring your hips back to center. You release your foot, take both legs straight. And let's feel this in the body. Let go, little sigh, big sigh. And be still. And so much beauty, so much peace, so much calm. Embrace the stillness. No rush. When you're ready, take your arms over your head and give your body a big stretch this evening. And then bend your legs, and you can roll over through your right side. And we're going to come pose. And so roll over onto your right side, come all the way around onto your belly. And then set your elbows underneath your shoulders so that your hips can spread out into your mat. And knees can go out a little bit wider. Elbows in a little bit closer. That'll wear less on your shoulders. And let us feel a little bit more when you relax your glutes. And soften as you untuck your toes. And then you can let your chin settle in. feel some of the compression down in the lower third of your spine, but less than you normally feel based on everything that we've done in the legs tonight. And believe it or not, it's not an easy practice to sit in the natural and the nurturing qualities of the breath. And to be a more mindful human being, it takes practice. And it takes an internal and strike a conversation, and also an external, sharing life and with many people versus few. Opening up to ask questions. And seeing where people are at and just reaching out in general. Directly, indirectly, physically or energetically. We can reach so many more people in our lives energetically than we can physically. The ones that you cross paths with. Very few when it comes down to, what we are as a human race right now, getting close to 8 billion people. It's a very small number of people that you're actually going to cross paths with physically. It's all up to you and how you're feeling tonight. You can keep your body right where it is on your elbows. You can take your hands out into the top corners of your mat and turn your elbows in, and then straighten your arms. Keep your shoulders down so you're not shrugging the shoulders into your ears. You've increased the length of your front body, and from your belly button to your sternum, your breastplate bone. And you might feel that underneath your rib cage in the front, and obviously a deeper compression down your back. So if you came up and it's too much, just go back down onto your elbows, and either way, let your chin soften towards your chest. Stay with it where you are about 1 more minute here. Feeling every bit, if you are on your hands, start to make your way back to your elbows. Your body will unclutter itself as you bring yourself all the way back down. Onto your chest. You can stack your palms, turn your right cheek onto your hands, and then feel your low back. And your glutes and your legs and your hips and everything back up to your shoulders and your neck released. Really nice rebound, everybody. Go ahead and bring your chin back towards your hands. And draw your belly in just enough. And to use your hands underneath your shoulders. And start to make your way up to all fours. And then take your hips all the way back to your heels. And resetting your low spine in child's pose. And it can be a rounded back child's pose where you're on your forearms. And tonight, feeling the integration of everything that you did in your lower body and how you're receiving the calm, the peace through your spine, and of course from your spine to your mind. And that's how it connects. And we know how it connects, but we don't know when it's going to connect. And so continuing and to show up to your mat and to engage the process and to love your practice and to love yourself within your practice. The good ones, the challenging ones. You know something is shifting, and when you continue to show up to your mat. I don't know what that is, but you know what that is. I come to know what it is for me. You come to know what it is for you. If we end up having a chance to share it, great. If we don't, we don't have to. Start to lift your head, come back up onto your palms. And then please turn yourself and so that you're facing whatever device you're watching and practicing along to. And come into a cross-legged seat. Such a cool practice tonight. So many things personally that we're unraveling, and then just these profound effects. I just call them effects of nature. Almost like this was, some kind of scripted story, but we know nobody created it. I know I didn't create it. I know that we were able to be here, and that's enough. And then just being open, to all the energy and what presents itself without all that background noise. And so I know we're living with a lot of background noise, but I hope that we can continue to share, and that you have your experiences and I have my experiences. And we can find some of this beautiful energy and space to connect back out into the world during these times. That's it. And please bring your palms together in front of your heart. And bow your chin into your chest. And to all beings everywhere, and may we send out this light in peaceful breaths, in the understanding minds, in the resilient bodies. And may we send out all this light tonight. And bring your thumbs to your forehead. And please acknowledge everybody that has practiced with you this evening. And everybody that has supported you, and to have the opportunity to practice together this evening. And have a beautiful night, beautiful rest, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace and love. Namaste.